I got totally sidetracked. This week on the Dirthead Shed, we start out by working on MazGrande, getting those transfer cases together, and we got a fresh new bed for this thing. But then we finish off the week with a bunch of work on this bathroom remodel that I started like 6 years ago. I'm not doing very good at finishing up the honey-do list, but we're putting in work now. Back in the Dirthead Shed with some serious hardware for the old MazGrande this week. I tracked down a clean truck bed. Found this thing on Marketplace. I got a bed and fenders and a hood, and it's all in really good condition. So this week we are going to start figuring out how to fix the bed on MazGrande by replacing it with a nicer one. The whole other side of that bed is just wiped out. I also feel like I bobbed it too much, so this is the time to either not bob it at all, shorten it just a little bit less than it is, well, shorten it more than it is in stock form, but less than it is in MazGrande form. Try and find that happy medium. And yeah, you know how it goes. It's gonna snowball. We're gonna get into all kinds of stuff. That roll bar in the back's gotta go. We gotta recreate those big old wheel arches. There is a ton of work that's going to go into that. We also got to get the transfer cases back together this week. So no better time than now to start getting busy. It's Sunday evening. I want to try and have a bed on this thing at least figured out in a day or two and have those transfer cases back in because the deadline is ticking. You know what I mean? All right, the timer is ticking on the deadline. All right, let's roll. All right, I've got these cool Sumner's, I don't know what brand they are, screw up jack stands out here. We're gonna set the bed on those. I wanna set it upside down on these, but I wanna have some rails on there too, so that if I do bob this thing, I can just have it upside down on the rails, cut the thing in half, shorten it, and slide it on the on these aluminum rails that I'm gonna put on there. That all makes sense, right? I need to get these set up real quick, and then my neighbor Richard is going to cruise by and help me set the bed up on here. It all makes sense in my head. We'll see if it works out in real life. Something like that. It seems good. Richard's back. You're on camera, Richard.
Oh, hi.
You'll recognize him from such episodes as helping with Louis Vuitton, driving Jeeps in the snow.
Yeah. Yep.
It's heavy. It's heavier than it looks.
Which end do you want?
I'll take this one because it'll be a little more challenging than that one.
I like the way you think.
Ready? Yep. Oh God. Oh my gosh. It's heavier than it looks, right?
Yeah.
Might have to go down with it and then go from the sides.
Okay.
And then just try not to pinch our hands. That's more likely to land on them.
So you're going to film a couple of old guys trying to lift a bed.
Yeah, act young and cool.
Yeah.
Ready?
Stretch and ready.
Ow, whoa, Jesus.
Oh, when I lifted it, it got your finger.
Yeah. It's okay. That's what I'm here for.
You bigger, mate?
That's cool.
I'm still good.
I'm good here.
Okay, good. I'll let you pinch my fingers this time.
I think we're all right.
You're on.
Is yours on there?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Can we lift and pull that other one out?
Yeah. Ready? Okay. Cool. Success. Great success. I sat out here on the phone and While I was at it, I was over here with some cardboard and a cutout, and I sort of recreated the arch that I would have to cut for the wheel well to look right. I'll probably flip this upside down so that as you're looking at it, it's kind of right side up because it's upside down on the sawhorses. But yeah, I'm kind of going through this thinking about, like, do I want to bob this bed or do I want to keep it full length? Again, that bed, I feel like I over bobbed it. That's a 14-inch bob on that bed. This one, I was thinking I wanted to bob it like 10, but now looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of want to just like chop this thing all up, get rid of the wheel wells, and put it on the truck and see how it actually looks full length, and then go from there. So that's where we're at. I had ideas of cutting it different. I don't know. We'll get there. I'm going to go cook some dinner, and we might get back out here later. But there we go. We got a truck bed on some sawhorses and a truck over there that needs a bunch of work. So we'll get all this stuff handled over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a busy one. This can go back over here for now. These can go over with my wheels. Here are the parts that should get us back in action and get these dual transfer cases glued up tight again. All right, let me clean the grinding dust off of here, move the little metal project welding dude. I would have liked to have cleaned this thing all up first, but ahead of time in the truck when it's all sealed, but I didn't, so we got to kind of clean it on the bench now. I'm going to use WD-40 to clean it. It seems like every time I clean car parts like this and I start with WD-40, it just works really well. We'll get the old gear oil and sand and dirt and grime off of this thing. Try and keep any of that outside of the case. I'll get all this like 90% of the way done, and then we'll go in and use some brake cleaner to kind of finish it off. I always buy WD-40 in the gallon, and then this is actually an old like Armor All bottle, finished 2001. Which means I've basically had this same bottle I've been using for 20 something years now. It's crazy. All right, clean this thing all up, get it looking good, and get as much of the sandy nastiness off of it onto the table. Then we'll clean the table again. Then I can start taking things apart and not feel like I'm gonna get sand in the bearings and things like that, you know? WD-40 got this thing looking pretty good. Now I'm just gonna kind of hose it down with some brake clean. Obviously it would be nice to do all this in like a cleaner situation and take it all the way apart and clean everything right, but we don't have that luxury right now. So we're gonna do the best we can with what we got. There's probably been 1,000 Toyota transfer cases rebuilt on the side of a trail in Johnson Valley or Roush Creek or somewhere like that, in a far worse situation than we're in here. So we'll be good to go. Even if MazGrande had to go away or got wrecked or something, I would do my darndest to try and keep this transfer case set up and transmission around. It's just such a cool piece. And originally it was all like rebuilt at Marlin Crawler, and Marlin's not around anymore, dang it. I'm guessing we should at least do a quick run through on what this is and why this transfer case setup is cool in my opinion. So this is this back half here, like this is a Toyota gear driven transfer case. This one is actually from a 1986 or 87 turbo Toyota pickup. So it's a 23 spline input, which is the stronger of the cases. The normal ones that would have been in like the 4-cylinder pickups were 21 spline input. And this one has been upgraded to a 4.7 to 1 gear ratio in it. So low range is 4.7 to 1 rather than 2.28 to 1, which is stock. This also has a chromoly output for the, it has chromoly outputs for the rear drive, and I believe for the front drive as well. So 4.7s, really low, and then you go and you add this on the front. This is also another, this is a top shift case. And what you do is, like the Toyotas, this is a high-low portion. So we have a high-low portion, this is a high-low portion, this is your 2.4 portion. So basically we have dual transfer cases here. This one has stock 2.28s in it. So I can have the option of running 1-to-1, which is like normal street driving going down the highway. I have 2.28 to 1 for normal light duty four-wheeling. I can go 4.7 to 1 for like harder core four-wheeling, or I can double it down and you end up with like 10 point something to 1. I got to do the math. I think it's like 10.5 to 1 or something. And that gives you that like ultra low, super creepy crawly 300 to 1 crawl ratio when I had my old gears in the axles. So that's what the dual transfer case does. It just allows you to go so slow that you're not really bouncing the truck around and beating it up. And then if you look here, you look at the plane of this and then the plane of that. And what I'm having problems with is this clockable transfer case adapter loosening up. And the clockable adapter is cool because it twists the transfer case and it brings this output up a little bit higher, so you can get a little more ground clearance or have a better shot at a flat belly pan. But because it's sort of a more complicated piece that has extra bolts and nuts and hardware in here, it loosened up on me on the trail, and I'm kind of at the point where I don't feel like that added like 1 inch of ground clearance, because it's clockable, is worth the hassle of worrying about it loosening up again. That being said, I called up the folks at Advanced Adapter, the people who make they make adapters for pretty much all sorts of engine swaps and things like that. And they're still making a good old-fashioned regular Toyota dual case adapter that is not clockable and should be, I believe it has a double roller bearing and this and that, but we've got a good, reliable, less complicated doubler that's gonna go in here and replace this one. Yes, I'm gonna lose a tiny bit of ground clearance, but that's something I'm willing to deal with, and we will deal with that later. If we need to like cut the floor and push everything up, then maybe we do that. Right now I'm gonna start unbolting this doubler, get everything separated, clean surfaces off, start figuring out what the differences might be between these two. I think everything is the same width, so I'm not gonna have like drive shaft issues or anything like that. But all right, enough talk, let's get to work. Let's pull this crawl box off, pull the doubler off, swap it out for that one, and get this thing put back together and looking good and in the truck soon. I assume that since I had to use the jack to get this transfer case off the transmission, I'm probably gonna have to do the same to like push this doubler apart. Let me go grab my porta power. I tried using these little bottle jacks, but they don't work on their side. It's been a long time since I messed with pulling apart Toyota cases. There we go. We're making moves now. Okay, we got one bolt that was like, you couldn't take all the way off because it crashes into the other side of the adapter. Now I can get it off and out of the way, or one nut. Ah! Look at that. Feeling pretty good about this. Seal came off this side. Yeah, you can see clearly now. This is the this is how you clock it. You can take these bolts out and you can rotate it around. But because of that, some of these bolts in here, they're finger tight right now, and that allowed everything to move around on me and was causing all that slamming. We'll get this doubler out of the way. I got to go through the process of getting it separated from the crawl box, and then we'll, at that point I should probably start looking at instructions and make sure I put it back together right. But I think we got this. Aha! Look at that. I am a terrible mechanic, but we got it apart. Toyota crawl box from the inside. Cool. Now I gotta keep reading instructions. The new roller bearing will need to be installed into the housing and retained with a snap ring provided. One of the thrust bushing gets placed in the housing, and then the second bearing is then pressed in. I guess that's the thrust bushing, and then by the time, that's going to go there. I'm going to put some grease on that, just so it kind of stays in place. It's weird, it's like they were using, when they built all this, I think like these bearings up here, I think they're actually like a Toyota axle bearing, and like this thrust bushing is the same one as the one that's like on the back side of that coupler as well, or on the other side of that coupler. And then we get another one of these bearings. The double roller bearing is in there. We're getting there. Haha! That's it. Look at that. I think we're good to go. Pretty cool. We'll get to you in a second, MazGrande. Looking good over there. I got the transfer cases just about put together last night. The crawl box is definitely good to go. I just got to clean the seal surface and get the transfer case like ready to go so that we can get the doubler and crawl box all on there. So if all goes well, I will knock this out here pretty quick. I feel like yesterday was the hard work on the transfer cases. Today should just be like slamming this together and then getting the whole unit put back in the truck. I'm definitely going to break out the transmission jack. The last time taking that thing out was pretty sketch. All right, let's get this thing buttoned up. This jack is definitely making it easier than when I pulled this thing apart. Check it out, we've got a transfer case in here, or dual transfer cases in here. The clocking difference between this or like stock rotation doubler and that old one doesn't really seem to be that big of a deal, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to probably just kind of leave things as is and figure out a new cross member for it. I know that one that I had isn't just going to bolt back up, so I'm going to go up top, put shifters in it. I'm going to get the drain plug back in here on this new doubler, and then we can start kind of figuring out what we're going to do for the cross member. I think I'm going to try and do double transfer case mounts this time instead of just a single one. And maybe that was part of my problem before as to why it loosened up. So, I don't know. Time to get busy though. Let's get the shifters in this thing and that drain plug in. Maybe get some oil back in this thing and then start figuring out that cross member. Welcome to the basement. This is my forever project. Yeah. Unfinished tile. This is a 5-year or so in the making project. This is my downstairs bathroom. I tore it apart I think in 2021. Had like a water leak. We had a bunch of drywall damage. The shower was gross, and it was all just linoleum and nasty. So I tore it apart like I do everything, and then lost motivation on it. But we are nearing completion. I have been working the last couple days pretty hard in here. Got the, this is the closet that is underneath the stairs, and yeah, it's like painted and finished. The baseboards are all like done and caulked in, and man, it is looking like a legit thing. Underneath that paper is wood look tile. Tiled the whole floor. I had some plumbing repairs to do, put a new shower in. Yeah. We got one more coat of paint to do on the trim. I think my wife's gonna do that today while I get started on this vanity and sink. We're doing like a vessel sink, which is weird, but it'll work with how little of space we have in here. It's a tiny little room, so you gotta like maximize everything. Anyways, I'm stoked. Look at this. For the first time in years, there's a functioning toilet. Look at that. It's awesome. All right, I'm gonna run to the depot, go buy some towel holders and things, figure out what faucet I had bought so I can try and match that. I gotta get a shower head and a shower up thing. I was like the little shower up pipe thing. All right, I gotta go to the depot. We'll be mini trucking to the depot at least. That's kind of Dirthead shitty. All right, this is rad. We're gonna finish this. And then we'll get back to working on MazGrandes and things. Let's go check on the doors. I painted these the other day, or the other night. Painted them in the dark. I tried spraying with my car spray unit, but that didn't work at all. And then I had like an HVLP Graco. It wouldn't spray either. So I ended up rollering these. Used the like foam. It wasn't a foam roller, but it was like a light nap roller. They turned out good. There's a little bit of texture to them, but I think we're good to go. I'm gonna run to the depot. I wanna grab hinges and doorknobs and things like that, get these doors put back in. Stoked. This project's actually coming together. 300 bucks at the Home Depot this morning. Got a bunch of stuff here. Hopefully I can fix that exhaust fan. These are one of those things, like the old one's so old, none of the part numbers like cross-reference. Hopefully I can make this work. Look at that. That's a done closet. Paper's out. Tiles looking good. Trim and paint's there. I'm gonna hang a door on here and call that thing done. I got the shower head on. I tried using that S like shower up thing, but it was too high and it was gonna end up spraying over here on this edge. The shower's tiny, it's only like 32 inches wide. So I think it's good. When I did the plumbing in here, I mounted that up a little bit higher outside of the tub because I didn't want to drill a hole in it. So, I don't know, coming together. Nice. Check that out. Let's see if we even get hot water in here. I might have to do like a flow control. Yeah, we got hot water. Heck yeah. I don't know, that seems pretty good. Awesome. I'll clean up my mess. Move on to the next thing. Stoked. Check that out. Closet door's in. I was struggling hard with this door. Turned out I needed to sand a bunch of material off the back edge of it. This was a pre-hung door frame, and by the time I put my little bit of caulking in here and 2 coats of paint, it was jamming and reefing on the hinges pretty bad. So yeah, I had to sort of relieve the back there, and then I also had a corner that was sticking up here, so I got that all cleaned up with the belt sander. I'm in the middle of doing this other door now. I took and sanded it outside so that I didn't make such a huge mess again, but hopefully I can throw these screws in here, swing this door and it fits in the jamb just like it did before I took them off to paint. It's kind of a ton of work, man. Ton of work. Check it out. It's the little things, like a clean silicone bead around the base of the toilet that make you happy, right? I just used the little consumer grade, homeowner grade, like silicone. And this is the trick. This is the trick. Spray away glass cleaner for pretty much everything, whether you're doing like paint preparation or not. Paint prep, detailing, all that. And it works really good if you like put a bead of caulking around there or silicone, then you spray over it with the spray away, spray a little bit on your hand, little swipe, and boom, you're good to go. It doesn't stick to your finger so much, it doesn't ball up and move around quite as much, and you end up with like a really clean little seam. Here's what we're going with for countertop in there. It's a big chunk 1.5 inch butcher block that I bought a couple years ago at the old Home Depot. We got to chop this thing up to 13 by 31 and start turning this thing into a bathroom countertop. I kind of jumped the gun on the countertop thing and forgot to show you this. I got the Vanity installed last night. Check this out. This is actually a kitchen cabinet and upper cabinet, and using it down here as my vanity. It's mounted to the wall, cut the holes for the supply and the drain. And since this is such a small room, it's kind of neat to have the open floor space underneath it. Keep it easy to clean, give you a little bit of space. We're gonna do that butcher block for the top, and then it'll end up with a vessel sink. So I'm gonna go cut the countertop. We'll get that fitted. We'll figure out whatever we need to do, drill the hole for the vessel sink, for the drain, the faucet. Guess you gotta have one of those. And yeah, we're moving along. We're moving along. It's going pretty good, actually. All right, this is me not knowing anything about woodworking. 9 5/8. 9 5/8. I have a table saw in the shop, but it is buried. So we're going with the old Harbor Freight cordless with a 40-tooth decking blade. That should be good. Let's cut this way now. I think we're good. Look at that. Little tiny countertop. Let's see if it's 13 by 31. I sure hope it is. 31 and a 16th. 12 and 15/16. Perfect. Nailed it. Is it gonna work? Heck yeah, it's gonna work. That's awesome. Whew. Tight clearance there. Ah, that looks great. That looks great. Let me grab the sink. Here's the problem, the depth here with the door. We had to go with like a super kind of shallow hole deal. Now I got to figure out the sink portion. Going with a vessel sink. I think this is a 12-inch bowl. Pretty small, but it's a guest basement bathroom. All you got to do is wash your hands. Hopefully not like rinsing greasy mitts off up to your elbows. That's the laundry room sink. All right, cool. This is gonna be good. All right, 1 1/8 for the faucet. Going right about there. Nailed it. Let's do the 1 3/4 for the sink. Man, this hole saw's really not happy. This one's pretty old. Smooth. Now we gotta make it look cool. I'm gonna sand the edges and kind of do a little tidying up on this, and then we're gonna clear coat it with some automotive clear. I'm just gonna spray it out. Should be good. The board is all sanded up and looking good. I'm using this Poppy's glossed out high gloss clear coat. I use this on a bunch of automotive projects and stuff. I already sprayed the edges of it, and it's just insane how much the color comes to life. I wanted to save this middle pass for you guys. We're just kind of getting a tack coat on here right now, but look at that. It just like brought those colors to life in that wood. Kind of spray the bottom edges real quick, and we'll let this tack off, and then we'll come over here and just hammer a bunch of clear coat on this train, get it to soak into the grain as much as possible. It's about an hour later. I'm going for the 4th coat of clear. It's got 3 on it, and it's looking pretty good, but it's still kind of got a bunch that has soaked into the fibers and whatnot. We're gonna try and get enough on there that it doesn't feel like I need to color sand and buff this thing. I've been working down in the basement, and I got the like toilet paper holder done and towel rack and things like that. So making moves. If I were doing this so that it was the nicest possible, I would have probably sanded and buffed between coats a little bit. There we go, 5 coats of clear. Couple little imperfections, but whatever. I'm gonna go through this thing in the basement. I got the, what'd I do? I did the light fixture above the sink, I did the mirror, all the towel racks and stuff are done. So it's looking good. It's looking good. We even have a dang shower curtain in there now. All right, let's go throw this in and see what it tells me to do. Still got some work to do, drilling holes and doing plumbing and stuff, but sweet. Oh my gosh, this place looks cool. Look at that cool mirror. My wife bought this without a place to put it, and it's perfect because like the sink isn't like in line with the lights, and the mirror kind of like fakes it all out, and you just come in here like, oh my gosh, it's cool, check it out. Just show them the toilet paper dispenser. Yeah, got one of those. Whoa, trash can. Look at that, towel rack. Come on. All right, I'm gonna figure out where to drill holes and how we're gonna get a sink and a faucet on here. All right, I marked the countertop after I marked the spots for the drain and the sink. Now we just drill a gigantic hole. And make a huge mess. We'll go back to 1. Normally a cabinet that's made to be a vanity that's supposed to have a sink on it wouldn't have a top lid in it basically. So this is just something we're gonna have to do in order to make this cabinet work as a vanity. But the fact that it has the lid will make it easy for me to just drill like 4 holes in the corners here, and we should be able to mount the countertop to that really easily. It's sort of the moment of truth. Putting silicone on the sink, and this thing is going down. I got the, oh my gosh, I should have used an actual caulking gun. This is ridiculous. I got the corners of the countertop all screwed down. It's all professional looking from underneath. I'm gonna get this gooped up. We'll set the sink, and then the sink actually gets held in place with the downspout, like, I don't know what you call it. It'll all make sense here in a second. All right, hopefully I can set this and it doesn't squish out and just look like terrible. It's like 8 Mile, you only get one shot. I think I need this. It's a pop-up drain with no overflow. So this should seal up against the sink, like so. And then run this big old honkin' washer on the bottom. And then it uses like a Teflon nut, or a Teflon washer, and then a big brass nut. So cool. I started this project when this tile and this type of sink was popular, and now we've probably gotten past that and it's uncool again, but I don't care. We almost have a functional bathroom. This is awesome. What do you think? I love it. Your quirky little bathroom is almost functional. All right, I just have to do the P-trap and plumbing for the drain, and I think this bathroom is pretty functional. There's still like a light fixture up here I gotta do and switch plate covers, but like all in all, I think, I don't know what, 6 years in on this project or 5 years in, it's finally a real bathroom. My buddy Mark's coming out to help me with the Mazda for UA, and he has a place down here to himself, which is pretty rad. I'll get this buttoned up. We'll see you guys next week. If you like the home remodel stuff at all, let me know. If it's terrible, let me know. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. There we go. Now we can call this done. Got a functional sink, functional shower, functional toilet. It's a bathroom. We'll see you guys next week.